Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and man, I appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to check today's video out. And today, guys, got a little safety video. We're going to be talking about the quickest way you can get killed bass fishing. This is something everybody needs to know. Bass fishing is inherently a dangerous sport on a lot of different levels. People do not give fishing in general, especially if you're on the lake or out on the lake in a boat, the respect it deserves about how dangerous it is. So I want to go over the scenarios that you need to keep an eye out for. Everybody that goes fishing, if you're in a boat especially, maybe not necessarily, but if you're in a boat, there are situations a lot of people don't even know how dangerous they are. So I just want to make everybody aware of that to avoid, a tragedy that may happen if you didn't know otherwise. So we're going to get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, at the time of filming this video, it's Halloween. It's October 31st, and I want to show you guys probably if you could have one bait for the month of November coming up, what it would be. And guys, it's this Megabass SV3 spinnerbait here. This is my November burning spinnerbait. It's got a fish head design on it. Looks super real. It's two small Willeaf blades. It's got a hand-tied silicone skirt with a natural trailer on it. And guys, take this SV3 and burn it parallel to steep rocky banks in the month of November if you have low light conditions, like if you have a shady bank in the morning or if it's cloudy and windy. Just reel this thing about that far underneath the surface, keep it coming pretty fast. And guys, in November, those good fish will come up and hammer this thing off the surface there or just under the surface. So I'll put the Megabass SV3 spinnerbait link in my tackle warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys want to try one. It's like I said, it is the best burning spinnerbait for November. Really appreciate that. Okay, guys, one of the things about that I have learned a lot in fishing through observation and my own personal experience is about how dangerous bass fishing can be, especially if you're in a boat. And I've seen it all, guys. The second year that I was fishing the Bassmaster Invitationals, we were up at Hudson River in New York. And I was coming in, it was the last day of the tournament. Yeah, the second or third day of the tournament, I can't remember. But you know how everybody's running back to weigh in and you got the check-in boat out there. Anyway, I'm running in, I see the check-in boat, and I shut down and start idling into the check-in boat. The boat behind me, right behind me, guys, another boat had ran over the top of another boat that was right behind me, didn't see it, and killed the driver of that boat. Boat ran right over the top of it. So that is just one of many examples I'm getting ready to give you about how there are scenarios in fishing that you really have to watch out for. So I sort of want to go over some of those. Now, most all of these are going to be involved in a boat. I mean, there are some dangers if you're a bank fisherman or something. Those are pretty obvious, falling into the lake, or if you don't know how to swim or something. But here's some of the scenarios I want to lay out. First one, let's talk about boat situations. This is probably one of those highly likely, scenarios where you could possibly get killed. And a lot of it has to do with two different factors: not paying attention and driving too fast. And a lot of people, in fact, the majority of bass anglers that I see, especially tournament anglers, don't give bass boats the credit they deserve for being dangerous, deadly vehicles. Bass boats are very dangerous. They don't have brakes on them. So one of the things about it, the first thing you have to remember about driving a boat is you have got to be aware of everybody that's around you. You can't be glued to your electronics. You can't be staring at the bank all the time, especially if you're going at a high speed. Going at a high speed and not paying attention are the recipes for a boat wreck, because you don't know if somebody's coming up from behind you. You don't know, if you're not paying attention, somebody can be on the side of you. Somebody can be coming towards you. And this is exacerbated by some environmental elements. Like, say, for example, if you guys ever ran, you're running down the lake and the sun is at just the right angle, it's low to the water, it will literally blind you. And if you're running into the sun, you can't hardly see anything, even if you have sunglasses on. So if you're running into the sun, you have to really slow it down and really be aware of, potential dangers that you may be blinded from. The same with fog. Guys, fog is probably the number one potential thing I see people getting in trouble for. It's like I see people running way too fast in the fog all the time. Fog, every situation with fog is going to be different, you know, as far as the density of that fog. But if you have any type of limited visibility with fog, you have to adjust your speed accordingly. And you have to adjust your speed based upon what I'm getting ready to lay out here. It's like, say you're running, say it's foggy, but it's not super thick foggy. Maybe you can see, you know, 50, 75 yards up in front of you, something like that. You have to imagine if there's another boat coming towards you, you're going 40 miles an hour into the fog, you can see 50 or 75 yards in front of you. There's another boat coming towards you that you can't see that may be running a little bit faster. And if that happens, even though that you've got 50 or 75 yards of visibility, if you're coming like this with another boat and you happen to be looking down at your electronics unit, or you happen to talking to your partner, or you're looking off looking for the bank on either side of the lake, you're going to be on top of each other just like that, head-on collision. And always remember, one of the biggest things I see people make a mistake is they don't know the rules of the road when you're coming head-on with another boat. The rules of the road is anytime you're coming head-on with another boat, you both go to the right. You don't go to the left, you don't stay in course, you both tack off to the right to avoid collisions there. Fog is extremely dangerous. If you're in thick fog where your visibility is really limited, and if you figure if you're running 20 or 30 miles an hour and another boat may be coming that you don't really think that you have reaction time, just pull it over to the bank. It ain't worth it, guys. And all you freaking idiots out there that are running balls to the wall in the fog, you need to have your freaking boat taken away from you and have it, you know, confiscated, because you got no business being out there. Another scenario that I see a lot of problems with, guys, is people cutting corners too close, especially trying to pass a boat. Now, this happens a lot, like a tournament blast off. Everybody's taken out, everybody's trying to take a shortcut up the lake, and say there's a boat going up the lake like this, and you're one of those pump-filled testosterone idiots that come balls to the wall between the bank and the boat there to try to cut this point to save 2 seconds. You have no idea, guys, if there's another boat coming around that point the same way. I have literally seen guys cut, I may have been like 50 yards off the bank coming up on a point, and I'll see guys that run between the point and me 30, 40 feet off the bank on a sharp point and make a sharp turn. They got no idea. If there's some dude coming 40 or 50 miles an hour around the other side of that point, you're going to T-bone them with that. So you've got to pay attention to that. Another thing that is a really obvious one that a lot of people don't get into is running up on another boat. Now, I have seen personally this happen to me, or not personally happen to me, but I've seen this personally happen in front of me a lot of different times, where there'll be boats, like it's, you know, there's traffic on the lake, and you're coming up from behind another boat, and again, you're distracted. You're looking at your electronic unit, you're talking to somebody, you're messing with something on the floor of the boat, you're looking off, you know, scanning the bank, looking around the lake. All of a sudden, the boat up in front of you stops suddenly, and you're up on top of that boat. I know probably half a dozen bad accidents that happen where people have come up from behind the back end of a boat, just like I was talking about that guy that got killed up at the Hudson River. That is not a one-off. I've seen that happen quite a few times. Okay, so that's the boat things. The best thing, guys, with a boat that'll save your life in a boat is just slow the heck down. Bass boats, in my opinion, we should be limited like 50 horsepower. So as the horsepower race goes up, so does the potential for danger out there. And we all saw the boat wreck that happened at Smith Lake, where those guys were killed in that guide boat, you know, from that FLW angler last spring. That's just a prime example of somebody not paying attention to where they're going, driving too fast, not paying attention. Okay, another dangerous situation where you can definitely lose your life, guys, is falling in the water in cold water. Hypothermia is a bad deal. People have no idea how the impact that hypothermia has real quick. If you've ever fell in the water in cold water, and I have, guys, I fell in the water twice in the wintertime. One time the water temperature was in the 40s, the other time it was in the low 50s. I don't care how good a shape you are, I don't care how good a swimmer you are, it will take your breath away from you immediately, like that. Just as soon as you fall in, it'll take your breath away from you. And if you fall in cold water, you know, and especially if you have a lot of clothes on, you are in danger, especially if you don't have anybody in the boat with you, because let's say, for example, you're out fishing and you fall in. You know, you hit a stump or something, or you lose your balance, fall in the lake, and then maybe the wind's blowing and your boat's starting to drift away, and you've got like rain gear on and a lot of clothes, and that boat starts drifting 20, 30 feet away from you, you're in trouble. If that water temperature is in the 40s, you have better be a strong swimmer in order to be able to get to that boat and get back in that boat before hypothermia sets in. So one of the things that you can do with that is, like, in the cold weather, guys, you need to always wear your life jacket. That's going to be a big thing right there. And another thing with that is you have to learn how to get back in the boat by trimming your motor up. And you may or may not be able to get up on your ladder. I mean, some people, it depends on the physical condition that you're in. If you're in decent physical condition, you can get up in the ladder, but it's a lot harder than what you may think it do. But if you're not, one of the things you can do is get on the back of your motor, put your feet on the cavitation plate, and trim the motor up. And you can trim yourself up in the boat like that. That's one thing. But be very aware, guys. If you're fishing in the wintertime, especially if you're fishing alone by yourself, be very aware about falling in the lake and succumbing to hypothermia, because it can definitely happen. Main thing, guys, is just use your common sense with it. It's like, don't take any chances. You know, most people that are killed in boating accidents, they're either taking stupid chances or doing stupid things, or they're not paying attention. Another factor, guys, is lightning. Lightning can be pretty dangerous. Lightning, though, is so random. It's like lightning is obvious. I mean, it's like, it's probably a good idea to get off the water or take shelter if it is lightning. But in my own personal experience, lightning is super random, because I've heard of people getting killed by lightning where storms were a mile away from them. But so you just never know on that. But it is probably a good idea to, you know, get out in those type of situations. And basically just be aware, man. Just be smart, be aware. Don't take any chances. Tap your testosterone down. Use your head. Be sensible. And more than anything else, out of everything I just told you guys, slow down. Speed kills. Speed kills on cars. Speed kills on those stupid, ignorant, crotch rocket motorcycles. Speed kills in boats. So anyway, guys, I hope it helps out, and really appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll check in later.